All right. Had to go ahead and do a couple things. Got him set up, and let's get right to it. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button for your boy because that helps the algorithm. So that way I can go ahead and make it rain in these YouTube streets. All right, a lot that I have to cover. Um, Market's going crazy. People are asking me what's happening with Bitcoin. Why is this happening? And a lot of this is happening for one thing and one thing only. All right. And that is the big old DXY. All right. And I want to use this as the foundation of a lot that we're going to be talking about, is because with a lot of the conversations that's happening with rotating out of the dollar standard this and the blah 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 and all that good stuff. I want you to understand what type of an impact it's having. That at the end of the day, U.S. dollars is the thing that you actually have in your pocket right now, and if you're losing value with what's in your pocket, and this is from an outside source, we're not talking about inflation. We're talking about specifically the value of the dollar is not as strong as it was in early 2025. Let's go further back. It's not as strong as around the pandemic at early 2022. If y'all don't remember, there was people that was going international to go ahead and purchase things in France, getting your Louis bags and all that stuff. It was cheaper to buy it directly to France because it was one, converting your dollars into euros. It was epic at that point. Two, it is no shipping or duty cost, so the price is a little bit lower. Like if you put all that together, guess what you're getting? You're getting yourself a lot of buying power for the stretch of the dollar. So now that equities are taking over, this is what we're basing on. Right now, the dollar is trying to find places for it to find its firm footing. This is the level that we haven't seen since the Ukraine war. Okay? So let's take it a step back. So we're looking at levels all the way back from the Ukraine war. We're back at it. And what ended up happening after the Ukraine war? The dollar dominance started to pick up. Can it repeat itself? Remember, markets don't repeat itself. They rhyme. They kind of look the same. And that's what we're banking on when it's all said and done. So crypto is starting to look a little rough around the edges. It's not because crypto is a bad asset. It's just at the end of the day, the dollar is at its base and there's going to be some valuation. Let's go over to crypto real quick. BTC USD. I like to use the Coinbase one just for something that's relatively static. All right. I just did the class on order blocks. If you want more information on when I'm doing classes, Instagram, JD underscore the great. Comment down below. JD is on YouTube right now. You're watching me. Just let me know if you're interested on some of my classes. But if we're looking at this in its totality, this is a big drop off. I warned people. I've been saying that this looks like a bear flag in more ways than one. Everybody thought I was being silly. Everybody thought that, hey, this is going to be a W. This is your W, fair your swing, especially a higher low W. The market's been repeating. Let me show you something real quick. Has been repeating this, coming down, coming here, break the neckline, push back up. Coming down, here we go, break the neckline, going up. So these W patterns has been showing everywhere. And when they thought they could push it here, push it there, they didn't get those opportunities. And now a lot of the buyers are exiting the market. Which buyers? Does it matter? Is it the Bitcoin ETFs? Maybe. Is it the original Bitcoin buyers all the way back from 2008? Possibly. Could it be people that's bought in 2020 and they're just saying enough is enough because 60 was a tough level to? Possibly. But again, I want y'all to understand what the chart is telling you. We came through a very strong order block. We're trying to recover, and some of that recover could be sellers at this level saying enough is enough. Let me go ahead and lock in my profits. By converting your sell, you have to buy it lower. So you sell high to buy lower. So that's why you get some buying momentum and you get these dead cat bounces. Listen, I'm not saying I want to see Bitcoin fall any further. Look at what it did. It went flush to 60,000 and then bounced right back up. It could be BlackRock. It could be one of these bigger institutions that steps in before they, file their 10K and let us know what they invested in. Very possible. But what I want you to do is wait for this thing to show some sign of a reversal before you start banking the house. If you want to nibble a little bit, cool. Dollar cost average property, yes. Do you see Bitcoin as a future position? No problem. Let's go over to gold. Gold. Everybody around here was like, oh, we might get to 5,000, maybe. Then they kind of created a liquidity sweep, and these two sweeps are the ones that probably was the one that drove us up into these levels. If you don't know how to notice liquidity sweeps, I'm telling you, those are the things that's going to go ahead and help you a lot, because liquidity sweeps are the ones that tells you either are you on the wrong side of the trade or you're on the right side of the trade. And if you're on the right side of the trade, you're grabbing liquidity, you're gaining valuation, and you can sell at the top and basically like holding your little brother in a headlock and say, uncle. That's what it is. And right now, that's what they did. They forced them to sell their position, add into the valuation of the downside. It built a base. They accumulated, and we continued up. They cleaned up a lot of liquidity down here on the buy side liquidity. We had imbalances and everything here. There's a strong possibility gold could just continue up from here. But they got to get through the block. That's the whole entire key thing. Can they get back above that psychological level of 5,000? Let's talk about Google. I sent a post about Google going up to the upside. It was a little bit of a gamble. The most important thing you got to understand, it was extremely high risk, especially coming over to earnings. I was looking for them to hold a very key level, which was roughly around 345 here, and it did not hold. And this is why entries are important. Did it kind of touch around the area for a little bit? It got close to it. But if you were so gung-ho on just being on the buy side of something, you probably would have got liquidated right then and there. And that's why it's important. You mark off your levels. If this does this, then I'll do that. And if this does that, then I'll do this, right? Because if you're going to go ahead and just randomly just get inside of trades, then you're going to randomly give away your money. So right now, this is a nice little push up that they're pushing up to. There's a possibility that we're going to get a nice little pullback, which is this here. Let me put my trading plan on. It needs to hold above 331 for any more upside. But we also got to deal with this. Stochastic is pointing down. Go over to the weekly. Stochastic pointing down. Go over to the monthly. Stochastic starting to point down. Kind of similar to what happened here. So you got to plan your trades. And I'm going to probably like really hammer home where when we're looking for our points and we're looking for our levels, at the end of the day, this is the top side. There is going to be sellers that's going to be looking to take some profits. Where they're coming from? All the way back here when the stochastic was in this lower register here. That's how you use those tools. Does it confirm anything? No. Price action is king. Just like this whole entire daily, this thing is starting to wipe out anybody that was short in this thing. Where did it come to? It came very close to this fair value gap. Does that mean that this fair value gap has strength? No, actually, they took a little bit of the momentum out of here. Let's go ahead and mark this off. This is a bullish fair value gap. Psychological 300 is probably what they're protecting. But ever since this, we made a nice little move to the upside. About $40. So if we're going to go ahead and recover, then that means our buyers stepped in here. New buyers are going to step in here, and I don't care where they came from. Were they sellers that were selling from here, or is it brand new buyers that sit on capital and they just going to step back in roughly around 329? Very possible. But it needs to hold an entry before you actually could take that trade to the upside. All right, let's find you some trades. That way I can go ahead and post a few things. It's kind of cold in my office. Give me 1 second. I'm over here freezing. All these temperature changes is messing with me. I'm trying not to get sick. I almost got taken out last week. All right, let's run through a couple here. Actually, let's go with some day trades. Let me come to a 2 hour and see what I find. Meta looks like they want to kind of pull this bad boy back down. Let's get rid of this for a second. We got an imbalance that's down here roughly into that 639, but you're going to be selling low to sell lower. For this to actually hold, I would say giving up 50% of this candle would be key, So I would say anything under 646 would be psychological suicide, where it's like 650. Oh, we can't hold it. Then we close under 646. Oh, we really having some strength here. And then we start to fill that fair value gap. This can take us right into our TP2 because they already filled this gap. How many gaps could they fill? So I wouldn't take the trade off of this action here. This can build into an order block. Let me go ahead and mark this area off so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's do these 3 candles here. Right? And this is now starting to be bearish, right? Because when we come over to here, and you could kind of see the action, bear with me because this is going to be a little repetitive so that way you can understand what's happening here. There was a nice little move here. Earnings was solid. They gapped it up, and everyone that was in that gap up decided to take some money off the table. Nice little sell all the way to push to the downside. Filled the gap because this momentum, they're like, oh, let me take my money, and this tells me that a lot of traders are here. Psychological 700 was not strong enough to hold it. So we're going to mark that off. That's a key area. If it does push off, there might be some more sellers waiting over there. And then we got this whole entire area. So this part right here has been tested, has been bearish. They pushed it back up. It tried to be bullish, tried to take out this fair value gap and failed. And now we're getting this momentum. So the higher risk trade would be playing it into here. But if momentum catches it, then we're going to go into 646 and you could get a nice strong trade under 646 to 630. Good trade. All right. So keep that one in your radar. Lockheed Martin, this is profit taking, but they're a good company. Actually, well, I'm a little mad about this one because I think in 2025, I released a trade to the downside here. I want to say it was this action here. I would have to dig in the archives to find it. And we played it down to here, and this recovery is a straight W pattern. This is a W for the win. This is a real solid one, especially if you could have weathered this storm here and maybe come back for it here. But this was very, very strong move right back up to that upside. Ignore the earnings on a company like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, Palantir. They get government contracts. These things are going to move based on the parameters of the chart, more so than the fundamentals that you can read from there. So ignore that because there's some things they just cannot disclose. That's why they continue to run. Let's get over to Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, I do believe that there's more downside to this one, which is going to be sad to a certain degree. Google Windows 11 rollout, and there's a lot of criticism that's there. Not being able to turn off Copilot, monitoring, all types of things. A lot of people are thinking that the privacy is completely shook inside of Windows right now, and people are flocking over to Microsoft. So I think this is going to affect it in a lot of ways. So as you're charting this, especially this looks like an M pattern that's extended, this is a strong area. This is going to be tough for us to get back through. I want to, yeah, this is Liberation Day. So getting back through Liberation Day, let's just call this an order block. Let's take it from about here, and we'll call it here. Let's just be real wide with it. So think of it like this. Well, what's previous resistance? You can see it's tough to get past 350. We finally got above it. This is the first time we're testing it after making those new highs. This is the second time we're testing it after breaking through. There is going to be some contention here. I like, and I'll give y'all a carrot here because you're probably going to think I'm Krello. When I see that we use this action and this here is how it took 74 bars for us to break through. I don't want to see this happening with another test of it, and we're doing that too early. So I want to see straight unadulterated recovery and just get right back up into that 500. That means buyers were just sitting like, hey, I'm not going to pay 500 for this. I'll pay 400. Because it's so short-lived from the last time we broke here, I'm going to point out one for y'all with Tesla. Every time you get one of these moves like this, and then they're testing it one more time, and then it extends and they're coming back to test it sooner than they did before, it lets me know that the accumulation phase is profit taking coming in a little quicker. It's not all about, not all. Listen, it's a probability effect, and trading is 90% probability. I tend to see if it's short lived, there's a possibility that we're going to come all the way back down and find new buyers. Let's go over to Tesla. Y'all remember Tesla, right? And everybody's like, oh, well, at the end of the day, this thing should get over to 500, right? This whole entire move to this upside, look at what we're getting right now. We're getting a move to the upside. This one is looking like an M pattern, right? This one was extended. I like to see things like this so that way I can go ahead and think that this is going to push up. If y'all don't know about Tesla, Tesla is doing their IPO for SpaceX. They're doing a lot of moves. So I feel a little bit more confident in something like Tesla for a reversal at this point because of the parameter of this accumulation to get past the 400 level. After they had a short live, it's getting longer to hold the 400 level. First time we came in, we did this. Let me zoom in so y'all can really see it. It took for us to get into that upper register about this much. Look what happened here. It was too short. They couldn't get the new highs. What did the market response was? Hey, let's go ahead and find some buyers. So when we get back up there, there's no choice but then for them to continue up. And what did they do? We got back past here. Came back for the retest. Made new highs. I think this one is going to be a lot longer. As long as nothing crazy, of course. Again, this could be a head and shoulder. Maybe it'll be a little shorter. Maybe it looks like an M. It's about the probability. But what I've noticed, when it's too short, like that, because they stopped here, came back and retested after making this, trying to get that, you get a nice extension to the downside. All right, so let's go over to UNH. If you remember, UNH was a nice little beast of a move that we kind of took. I think this was a lot of investors trying to average themselves in so they can get out because they got raped. Well, I can't say that. Oh my God, I forgot I'm on YouTube. They got completely ripped as far as losing all their valuation in itself. And unfortunately, right, where we are at this point, we're talking about even further downside that could happen very strongly, just like this. Why do I think that? Well, if we were going to go ahead and fill this gap, we were supposed to hold some type of base like a gap here. We gap down. That's not a good sign. That lets me know that traders are in relative control and investors are looking for better prices. Look for 234 to get tested. If y'all remember, I want to say the announcement that Warren Buffett was in was roughly around here, and it was built up from where he got into his position and then announced here. So I think this is the Warren, basically what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So the Warren Buffetts of the world comes first, and then the smart money comes in, and then the dumb money's like, oh yeah, well we filled the gap, so obviously we should fill the gap all the way to this fair value gap. I'm targeting over here. And that's you just taking a green candle thinking you're going to go ahead and get another green candle. That's not how trading works. Trading is being in the accumulation phase of some support, knowing that at the end you can have your stop loss where it can be protected. So I would not be surprised that we get a nice strong reversal somewhere around this level. So just be patient. Don't go reckless. See what the chart does. And we might be able to go get this gap again. If that fills, then I can be confident that we get this fair value gap in this 500. You already know. Healthcare is not going anywhere. Johnson & Johnson, I'm a little upset with this one. I did not do my normal open enrollment. I usually deal with healthcare around open enrollment. That's usually around the November. And this thing ripped in November. Completely and utterly ripped to the upside. And I'm happy because it's like at the end of the day, healthcare tends to do this. Let me give you another example. This is UNH. This is your November right here. This is them trying to hold up before the chaos of Oh, guess what? Investigation and this, that, third. So they tried to show some relative value here. And again, we're back down here to these levels. All right. So just be patient when it comes down to something like UNH. But healthcare, here's Johnson & Johnson. Here's BMY. Here's your November open enrollment. Just a little carrot for y'all. I don't know if Lilly falls into that category, but they do have drugs. Let me see what their November looked like. Yeah, it kind of, it fits the mold. It fits the mold. And then if you want to be a little risk avert, you can go with XLV, and you'll see right here. Oh, that looks like Eli Lilly, right? October, November open enrollment, and then so basically it's the run up into open enrollment. Is a very, very, very strong and fun move when it comes down to XLV. Oh man, we spiked new highs. Oh, we're gonna go for them highs. Healthcare is not going anywhere. All right, what else I got for y'all? It's 9:15. I gotta go get ready to open my floor, but I will keep this online and I will be chiming in as I see trades on here. So if you want to just tap in and stay tapped in, that's cool. But I won't be getting off to like mid afternoon, maybe like 12 or 1, and I'll just tell y'all what I see. Starbucks. Starbucks is in a tough spot. I don't think I've been watching some documentaries on Starbucks, how they kind of came to where they are. I've been reading some articles. The CEO that came in to save the day when it kind of like collapsed over here and it kind of pushed up, he's gone. It's not a good sign. And then go to your local Starbucks and look. Then think back 10 years ago when you went to a Starbucks. You saw people sitting in doing their schoolwork and this, that, and third. And when they get thirsty, they just walk up and make more sales. Now with Starbucks drive-through and everything else, it's relatively empty. Is it more efficient? Debatable. Is it a cup full of sugar? Not possibly. Could it be the union is really divesting this stock where people are too scared to get into it? Very strong possibility. But we're traders. We're not worrying about the whole entire fundamentals. Let's get rid of this for like 2 seconds. We could kind of see this level may get tested again. And the reason why I'm marking off this level is because at the end of the day, it looks like this is the block that's giving us a little bit of pressure. And I'm going to look left to kind of see if this kind of falls into my paradigm. But you can see massive sell-off at the earnings. Why? Because they missed. Again, they didn't miss it by much, and they still generate $9 billion. If we look at the financials, all they have to do is do some relative cleanup when it's all said and done. Their income is $1 billion. Is it down? Yes. Could it be better? Yes. Can we figure out what's the next step? If you want to get into the weeds of it, but if you're looking as a whole, what Starbucks can do. Do they have cash flow? Yes. They can take this cash, whatever they have, and throw it into some other expenditure, maybe some type of acquisition. If the economy crashes the way it is, all those coffee brewers and everything else that we've been talking about, they might take some market share by just literally acquiring them with the free cash flow that they have. They got 1.27 billion and open that up in their footprint. Remember, they closed some stores, which is making them a little bit more profitable. So we'll see what happens from there. Still 5% growth on revenue with closing stores. You got to ask yourself questions. So yeah, I would say this could be the order block right here that they're trying to fight to get past here so that way it can recover completely and make a strong push to the upside. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now it's 9:15. Let's go ahead and take a peek at NQ. You already know I trade NQ. I have my opening ranges already set up in itself. Is that my order blocks? I think I'm gonna have to probably not mark off some new order blocks. What's here? All right, let me get rid of these. Buy and buy. And we'll go ahead and see what we can do. That looks like a fair value gap right there. I think that's a little deep. I think I'm going to focus on here. If we recovered very hard, we're probably going to get a nice little push to this fair value gap here. Let's call this bearish. This is balanced. This is balanced. This is balanced. This is not as balanced. So we got ourselves another selling pressure area right here. All right. So what could they be looking for? They could be looking for a bull side momentum. Let's see what this is going to look like. Let's call it, this one is what stepped in for today. Let's see if they're strong enough to hold on to this. If we get close to this area here, that means we're going to free fall. Let me come back a little bit. Yeah, we're going to free fall under 24.8. No, I take that back. Where did that? 24.2. We're probably going to try to break 24,000, but that's going to be a tough ask. And you could kind of see this is very, very strong balance here. I have a point right here that I'm very curious about. Let's see this one here. Okay, so we came back and filled that. Okay, all right. So that point right there, and then if we look here, this is November. We got a lot of support here. So what could they get if it fails to hold? Look out for this area for entry to the downside. I'll be bearish below the first touch of this block. So under 305. And I'm part of you saying, oh, well, Jeffrey, that's pretty obvious and everything else. But let's think of it this way. If we're going to push up and we're using something like this that gave us so much momentum, then that means we should be strong enough to go get new highs and then some, right? But if this thing gives any inclination of coming back down, that means the buyers that stepped in from here, they're not holding their weight. And as we're going into the opening, that could be the case. All right, so I kind of gave y'all some gems. Give me a little bit as I set up my Zoom for my trading floor. I'll be right back. All right, let's get right back over to it. Market's going to be opening soon. Get these lines ready, get my charts ready. I think I'm going to do my Robinhood from my phone. I don't want to beat up this new Mac too bad. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Help me help you. Whatever you. It's the free way to support this channel and makes it easier for me to do this said business. And what do we have? It's like 8 minutes? Okay. Let's see what I see so far. Oh, that was true. They had non-farm payroll today that they did not release, right? Let me go look and make sure. I use my FX book. It's my favorite. It's what I was first trained on. I just keep it. In trading, consistency is very key, so that is why I still use it to this day. Right, today's Friday. Michigan sentiment is going to be at 10 o'clock. That can add some very strong volatility, so be vigilant on that. Hold on, did I select the right one? Make sure I got the right zone. I've done stranger things. Did I get rich and fit trying? Info. Okay, got the right one. Alrighty. All right. So 5 minutes and counting. Let's come down to a 5-minute chart and see what's going on over here. Looks like a bull flag. Look like they're trying to make a nice little push. Kind of forming a diamond pattern, which is a bearish pattern at the same time. We're going to see which one prevails. I think we're going to stick with the 45-minute just to be on the safe side. Give y'all some solid trades for futures. And then I will chime in to the Discord and make sure if there's any alerts that pops in, I will share accordingly. All right, let's get rid of you so I can see my chart. Let's get OEOS. Where are you? All right. And if I post anything, I am ready. Okay. Let's get to the dashboard. Oh, I gotta check on some of the. You know, I got 5 minutes. Let me check on some of the stuff I've been keeping my eye on while I wait. IBM on a 1 month. I'm looking at IBM to hold this 291. Sorry, 292. Stay under there in the next 3 weeks. If you want to take a nice little nibble, that's all right. But just be vigilant. I'm looking at some $200 to $225 puts. Possibly come back to this level, resetting the whole entire market. I'm kind of like in bear mode. Nvidia is kind of on my radar too. Now Nvidia has broken something on a daily that I was a little uncomfortable with for any more upside. So I want to see how the market reacts to this. Currently, this is no longer a bullish order block. This is now a very neutral one. It can go any way. Think of it as it's a tie in the game, and someone's got to win. It's either the Bears or the Bulls. Played this to the downside to here, and that was about it for day trade. Affirm. This one is already going away a lot farther than I expected. I think this was on the monthly too, or did I do 2 weeks? It might be 2 weeks. Nope, monthly. Let's look at it 1 month. It's having struggled to recover its IPO pops, and this is their earnings. Not a fan, but they got the partnership with like Amazon and everything else, so that still relatively plays a part. So we'll see how that responds, and give you some more. I think this was on a 1 week. PL1, this is platinum. Platinum is following the same drum as gold and everything else. And if silver starts to drop, oh, actually that was a daily. Then I should have been. Never mind. I should have been in from that point on. I probably could get a nice little price on that. Let me see. Do they have a platinum micro so I can kind of test my theory here? Let's see if they do. No platinum micro. That sucks. I'm going to test something and see if that pans out. Oh, actually, let me reset my login. I don't know if anything is relatively reset itself. All right, we got less than 120 seconds until the market opens up. So we're going to see what the pop is all about. My fake Canadian accent. Let's get over to NQ. And in the middle, I will go over whatever pops in during that time. I do have to up my adjust my stranger danger here. Actually, let me go ahead and set myself up accordingly so I can do that away from that screen so I can see it clearly. Let's get rid of you. And let's get rid of you. And there we are. I need my Streamlabs though. Okay, perfect. Perfect. If you have any tickers that you want me to look up while I'm waiting for tickers to go through, by all means, go ahead and put it down there. And I will go ahead and see if I can pull that up for y'all. I could probably test this order block and then bounce. All right, 9:30. Not much of a move in itself. I'm not. What are you doing? I understand. I'm in the middle of recording. Okay. Thank you. All right. They almost tested it. I almost want to just go ahead and just stay with the trend. And if we touch this area, probably take a nice little buy here. But I don't want to take it unless we touch here. Wait for the price to come to me. They could be holding this until non-farm payroll. Target? All right, I got you. They could be waiting for the Michigan sentiment at 10 o'clock. That could be what they're keying off on. So while we wait for that, let's check out that target. TGT. I used to love Target too, but everybody's running to Walmart If you don't know, Walmart and Target was in the same space. They were on the NYSE. But with the innovation that Walmart has been doing, a lot of people are going over to that side for the growth in Walmart. I think it's fluky, but that's just my opinion. All right. Let's start with Target and can it recover what it gained from the pandemic? If you don't remember, they were overstocked on a lot of stuff like TVs. They had to discount it. They lost a lot of profits throughout that. People didn't really care for it. Well, meanwhile, Walmart recovered. And I want to say they're not an American company. Founded by George and headquartered here. I want to say they are Canadian, but I may be wrong. All right, so just bear with me. But everybody's running into Walmart for obvious reasons. So where can Target go from here? Let's first key off on very key points. Looks a little tired for the most part, but we got ourselves a fair value gap right here. That's going to be bearish. That's what you want to kind of target and see if it can fold that. No, no pun intended. Didn't mean to say target, but that's, you know, TP. We already cleared this fair value gap, and if this week stays like this, I would do something very similar to something like that. And you can mark these levels in itself. I would look for like something above 113 as long. Well, let me be clear. If we stay above 112, 106, if we stay above that area, they can use what was previous resistance. You see this area here as support, but that's a big if, because what we're having here, we're having a W, and that W is over. We take the shorter side of the W, that's your extension, and we already did the 50%, and you can see we spike right through. Are those sellers? Are those buyers that were in here looking for that W still inside of this ticker? And this is why having an entry, this will prove or confirm or give high probability that those sellers are still in there. And if they are, then you could plan accordingly on what's the next move. So that's what I would be looking for. From a daily standpoint, you could see like with the stochastic, it's in that upper register. It is bullish, but this thing can put a bearish divergence on you kind of quick. So if you're in it already, then you want to see that 130 hold. That's new buyers stepping in, and then you could go ahead and take it up to like 123. Do I see any bearish momentum under 107 for the stop loss? I think a lot of the buyers that would step in will create liquidity for them to go ahead and hit levels, forcing these buyers to step in. Step out. But it would have to be the confirmation that they only came for the W. It hits this level, taking out this daily fair value gap, breaks below this level, creating your bearish divergence, higher highs, while this is making lower highs, and then it just starts to come right down. Okay, so a couple of cases that you can have on Target. It just all depends on how the market reacts to it. All right, get rid of these. I think I'm done with that. That's 15 minutes. Don't need those no more. And let's go back over to NQ. Let's see if we find something. A couple of things has been coming through the alerts. Let's see. Well, actually, let me put you back on 15 minutes before I go there. All right. Let's widen that out so I can see the chart. Ah, damn it. I said I wanted to touch here before I actually did that. And that was the move I was kind of looking for. Oh, God. I kind of got myself caught up. I didn't think it went that far. I thought I could get enough time to get back to it. Oh, that sucks. But hopefully you're in it. If you're taking this trade to the upside, you should be at 100 points or so based on these parameters. But let me go ahead and fix my unlock you. So we're getting ourselves our opening range set up right here. And we got ourselves a nice little setup right here. Is there profit taking happening? That's a little early. You're very welcome. No problem. No problem. There's the other part of trading. It's a lot of waiting. Okay, folks. You don't have to do anything. I want you to be more active drawing than active in the trade, because then you could go ahead and mark levels, plan properly, and key off when you see an opportunity that's going to give you some good bank. That was very jerkish of you, NQ. I did say I was going to take you up as soon as you touched there. Let me look at it at 1 minute. That must have came real fast. Yeah, it came fast. So that was that push up here, and I was like, oh, I don't think we're going to get it yet. I thought it was going to test something, then come back down. But they just kind of wedged it, and then you could see that 1 minute. This is just a 78-point candle by itself. That's ridiculous. So yeah, yeah, that's how the market can move sometimes. But that's why charting is so important, and I love charting. All right, starting to get some folks over in Zoom, so bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and just tap in with them for a second. I'm gonna be still here. I'm gonna chime in. Also, any other tickers y'all may have, by all means, put it in the chat. I'll go to it. All right, so this is the fair value gap. I'm considering selling over here, as we're starting to establish ourselves here. Um, yeah, I may consider it, but it needs to show me something that makes sense. Oh, almost did. Almost made some sense right there. Now remember, this is the sell-off that happened yesterday, around 6 o'clock in the morning. So there's a lot of New York session that's no longer in here. So it might be weak sauce. So be patient, be vigilant. Let's see if we get this recap. All right. That was about 40 ticks before they pulled it right back from me. And 40 ticks the other way. I'm gonna risk this for like 2 seconds. If it continues, I'm going. Yep, they're gonna go for the fill. All right, they hit my stop loss. Interesting. I reload here, or they just go ahead and fly right through and get the rest of the fair value gap. As you see, this is a tough area because when New York session opened up again, we sold off there. So that's the reason why I'm looking at that for a sell. All right, let's see if this reload actually pans out to the downside. Assuming that fair value gap gives you a continuation of yesterday's move. Only thing that's tricky about this, let's just say everybody bought their puts for Monday And after they bought their puts, they're like, I'm gonna cash my puts on Friday. And this thing might not go all the way down like I'm thinking. Very strong possibility, but we'll see. I'm kind of targeting to get inside of this range a bit, and almost there, almost there. There we go. Get there. Perfect. Oh. Let that momentum carry you. Ooh. Come on. And you feel the heat down in your soul to the downside. They're playing with it. All right, buy side liquidity. Buy, buy, buy. Come on. They're forcing it. Let me just take this money off the table, and I'm out of there. All right, that was a good one. 120 ticks to the downside. And total, that was about 22, 23 ticks because I kind of got beat up on that last one, on that pop, when they swept that. Could have got in a little bit earlier, but I was waiting for extra confirmation. And I might just sit a little bit as we start to establish the opening range. And then I'm going to sit a little bit and see if there's any other opportunities. You want to get them off the blocks more so than trying to take it. Like, this was a good move and that's a good move, right? So we're not going to force anything, and we wait for non-farm payroll. Oh, my God. There's no non-farm payroll, Jeffrey. Get over it. Michigan sentiment, that's going to be dropping in at 10. That's from a private entity, so we should get that data without any problems. Meanwhile, something like government issued from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're in government shutdown, hence the reason why we don't have that information. So, patience, folks, just patience. That's what we got to roll with. All right, let's get back over here. All right, 40 seconds until we establish the opening range. If you haven't been on my channel, how we operate with the opening range after we finally set everything. Oh, actually, I got that on the, oh, it's still right, on the 45 minute. How we do that, when we finally get a 15-minute opening range setup, just like we do here, we wait for a 5-minute close above, or in this case, or a 5-minute close below, so we can play accordingly. And you can kind of see this buy the dip with this bullish fair value gap is what's putting some pressure onto this upside. So we're going to see if there's any more bears here. I'm leaning on no, and I want to kind of like play this a little bit tighter. I might go with a 1-minute close versus a 5-minute close, and then if it fails, then I could go ahead and re-enter again when the 5-minute one does. But that's going to be big if. Big if. Got 41 seconds left on this candle. Just want to find where the buyers are. Are the buyers really here that's strong enough to take out that area, or is it just a trap that the bears are letting them push it up here, and they got strong amount of liquidity to slam this right back down on top of our heads and pushing this back? I do know they want to get back to this 25,000 again. That's what the bulls want. But the bears are like, nah, we can't. We did too much work for us to get all the way here. So yeah, this is gonna be a fist fight. So high volatility, lower your leverage. That way you don't get beat up, and you should be relatively fine. Got a lot of alerts that just came through. We're gonna go ahead and take a peek at them in a little bit. All right, we got some more highs here. All right, so that's my 1 minute. Let's get a red candle that I like. Is there a red candle that I like? That's a green candle. That's a massive pullback. They took a lot of liquidity on that one. Oh, they took a lot of liquidity on that one too. I almost want to buy it off of here, but yeah, good thing I didn't buy that. We got a lot of selling pressure over here. I think I'm gonna go with let me see what this looks like. Still kind of bullish on this 5 minute. I want to sell that green candle, but you can come down to a 1 minute so you can see what I mean. I want to sell that green candle that came in, but patience, don't like it. Or if you haven't noticed and you're brand new, I'm a scalper, so that's why I go to these smaller time frames. Not the easiest thing to do, I'll tell you that right now. All right, so I'm looking for you to fail to get up in that top area. Oh, ooh. They said no, we're gonna hold on to this. All right, they couldn't get that top. I'm leaning on shorting again. It's crazy. They're still accumulating. Come on. I'm doing it tight with 20 ticks. All right, getting out of that. All right, cool. Yeah, y'all won that battle, and then we got a nice little spike up to the top. So yeah, this is going to be very tough, but it's going to be very fruitful to the upside. But I was leaning on the fact that we wasn't getting that top because this is the tough area, and that's why I sold with them. Got another value area that I might want to short again, as much as this is like real choppy here. But I'm in it for a good time, not a long time. Ah, mother sucker. Mother sucker. That drop. That's the type of drop I was looking for. Y'all saw that pop down? Let me come down to a 5 second to show you how fast that happened. That is a 26-point drop in 5 seconds. Just to let y'all know. That's why I love scalping. There's just so much action down in these weeds. Just tough to do. Now's your warning sign that they're saying we are going to dump this to a certain degree. That is a possibility. Let's see if that holds. I'll push my thing to break even. Almost want to take some QQQ as well. Yep, they hit my break even. Yeah, they're not making it easy. They are not making it easy, and I think it's now okay. Perfect. It's now 9:51, and we're getting really close into the next part of this whole entire session. We're gonna have to deal with the Michigan sentiment. So I'm gonna sit out for this. Could I have played it up? Yeah, but that spike through that I showed y'all, I thought that was the drive of liquidity, and it was going to scare some folks off, and looks like it did not, and that's where we get this hard time move back up again, and it's all right. You know, live to fight another day. I'm not going to chase it there. And what I mean by that, like let's just say non-farm payroll goes against what the price action is doing right now. You're gonna get a massive and disrespectful drop off of it. I do have some imbalances that I was curious about that was gonna get up there. I thought I was gonna do it before the non-farm payroll, but it didn't do that. So now I'm gonna sit on my hands for like 9 minutes and decide what's going to be the next move. While I do that, let's go ahead and check out some of these tickers that I have that popped in. What came in? That's yesterday. That's 9:45 today. Where's today? 9:30 today. All right, so that's closed. That's closed. That's closed. All right, let's talk about NVIDIA. NVIDIA on the 15-minute look like it's trying to push to the upside. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. And I'm going to give this to y'all relatively quick and hot. Oh, it's already starting to run. This is them trying to recover. You remember that drop I was explaining to y'all earlier? This is them recovering that. So this is your entry somewhere around 179. We're at 181. You're going to play it to 182 to maybe I take that back. You're going to play it up into 183 and maybe 190. So I would say go for some 190 calls in that regard. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a fiduciary. Just a idea. If this thing does push up, those 190 calls should print for a end of the day type of trade. I'm starting to lean a little bit on that as well. Probably going to wait for the Michigan sentiment to play first before I pull that trigger. Let me go load up my Robinhood. All right. NVDA. Let me see what those 190 calls are looking like right now. Huh? Really? It's 2 cents. It is $2. All right, so we got $6 for 187.50. Let's look at some of this open interest. M190s have 83,000. I got $2 to burn, but I'm gonna wait five more minutes. Can I save orders on Robinhood? I don't think they save orders, right? Yeah, they don't save orders. Jerks. Robinhood Legend does, but I don't feel like loading up on this PC. I don't want to push this PC too hard, at least not yet, before this thing kind of gives out on me. And I do not send direct message unless I've talked to you in itself on Discord. So if you get a direct message on Discord, that is not me, more than likely, because these people are hilarious. I don't know you. Why are you sending me friend requests? All right, what else I got for y'all? Let's go ahead and keep that in mind. We are looking at also MSTR calls. Now this one is going to be fun because Bitcoin got completely ravaged. I wonder if I say can I say ravage on YouTube? I couldn't say the other thing because I've noticed people can't say it. MSTR in the next 4 minutes, if this thing pushes right back up to 122, I would probably lean on getting the 140 calls or 130 calls, maybe 130. Let's go with 130 just to fill that gap. Push into the upside. That would be relatively choice. What else I got for y'all? CIFR, that's for shares. Fiverr, if you want shares. Yeah, these are more share side, but I'm gonna go with Five. Let me see what Fiverr is looking. Five Below, not Fiverr. Five Below.
There's also Five Guys.
And there is Five Guys. You are right.
What is Five Guys?
burger place.
Oh.
Let's see. I don't think the open interest is great on these, right? Ooh, really? Oh, that's February 20th. Yeah, not for a day trade. We're going to leave that bad boy alone. But it does look like they want some upside. I would say this is what it would look like if you wanted to take that. I think it's 210. That was the one that was there. That open interest was crazy. It was like 1,000 compared to everything else. Yeah, 1,084. So they're playing at the money on February. Just keep that in mind. What else I got for y'all? I got more time. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts. This one has been getting beat up a bit. It's in a recovery mode. Let's come up to a weekly real quick. I just want to kind of point this out. This is what happened. So this thing looks like it's building a base. If you want to go further out on AAP, let me see if there's maybe quad witching days. Is it AA? Yeah, Advanced Auto Parts. All right. Let's go with quad witching date, which is March 20th. Let's see what these OIs look like. Not great. You got the 55 at 5,000. The 50 had the most, and it's already in the money as people were building their position. They probably got in at that 28. Let's go with 70, but it's just for your radar. Do not get into this thing right exactly now. It just looks like it's coming off an order block. If it breaks this 55, it should touch 60, and that spread is rough. It is very, very rough. Oh, before I get lost in the weeds, I've been looking at Schwab, and this is for my league players. You're probably going to SCHW, I think it was. Yep, Schwab, right? And this thing looks interesting. Coming down from a yearly, they kind of pushed up from here. If you don't know what this red highlight is, I got an algorithm that kind of highlights where there's a lot of liquidity based on the parameters of math, and looks good. It looks like they want some more upside. I'm thinking that I could probably get the top of the cap of the contract, and or I'll probably play some rolls. It just depends. But yeah, I think Schwab by the end of the year could get to 120 if all things stays equal. That's what I'm looking at. All right, let's get back over to NQ because this thing is about to go ahead and do something fun in a minute because Michigan Sentiment does. Oh, look at you. I knew you was going to try to reject. Look at this. Everybody, non-farm payrolls getting out, so let's go ahead and get out the way. Look at this. You had no business being up there. None at all. That's all right. It's okay. Get my TradingView ready. 4 seconds. Let's see what the market responds. Looks like some selling pressure right there. I think we could get a complete rejection all the way down to here, but this order block will cause a problem. It's probably best to wait for them to tap here again, fail, come back, and then push down. Ooh, free game just launched right there on Starbucks. Let's see what free game is talking about. And I think this is going to be very choppy. I'm not going to deal with that. All right, on the 30-minute, what was that, Pac-Man? Okay. On the 30-minute on Starbucks, we got ourselves a nice little bullish momentum that we should key off on. So wait for the 30-minute candle to close, which is going to be at 10:30. And if it's still above 97.53, let's play it into 100. And that should recover everything from the sell-off here. Again, I know you're probably going to be like, well, JD, you was talking a lot of mad stuff about it. Yes, but they still are a $10 billion company. If they can clean up their messes and find ways to get the profitability margins back up, return more money to shareholders, people will feel like I got it at a discount, assuming 58 cents per share is what you're going to be gaining. So if they can get it to like 75, let me see what their guidance is for next. Did they send it? No, they didn't send it yet. Damn. Guess it's too soon. Oh, actually, there's an equivalent. Hold on. It's over here. Ugh. Yeah, in for a good time, not a long time, because they're guiding to lose. And again, this is also, remember, there's pumpkin spice latte and everything else. That's their booster for the most part. Now that I think about that, let's go back. This was 50 cents, and they reported 64. They got 50 cents. That was there. And then this one here was 40 cents, so it's relatively in line. DoorDash is failing my plan. 69. Yeah, yeah. Listen, this one can be very interesting and lucrative if this thing can do its job. Yeah. We'll see. All right, let's get back over to NQ, and then I'll check out DoorDash and see what that's all about, because it's breaking a very key yearly level for me, and I'm curious of what happened there. All right. Yep. And there's the rub. Look at them. They're trying to push this thing down. Did I want to be risky and carry it over the news? Nope. Can you? Yes. Is it risky? High risk, high reward? Very much so. By all means, if you want to, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. Send it to your friends and family. I'm going to tap in with the Zoom folks real quick while we wait for this to set up. Yeah, what I was telling them over in Zoom is that this DoorDash looks like it's getting hit with a Molotov cocktail now. They do have earnings that's coming up, so I wouldn't chase this for this downside right now. I probably would give it next week Tuesday, Wednesday, to kind of decide if you want to kind of see if this thing can recover. This thing is giving it all away. Wowzers. Okay. All right. Let's go back over to NQ. I want to see what's going to happen here. See if I can find myself a trade. And then I'm going to go check out NVIDIA, because I was going to get that 2-cent call with that push-up. But with NQ dropping like this, it's making me think that that's not going to pan out. There's NVIDIA. Yep, exactly. This is NVIDIA playing these games. Now, is the trade done? I won't say that, but I would love to buy it, that $2 call. Yeah, well, it's now $1. That means the 187.50 is $3. I could burn $11 if this thing reverses. And that was based on the 15-minute, right? I think, yeah, it was the 15-minute. So we got to close above. We're getting ourselves a little bit of a recovery here. NQ is still dropping. Okay, good. We'll come back to it in 7 minutes. Let's go back over to NQ. Massive drop off here. I think this thing is going to continue to drop. puts are putting. The best price would have been inside of this area here, but I didn't get that luxury. Okay. All right, I'm going to be going through them in a little bit. That was an impactful move. I probably could have played it off the 15-minute as it was closing and just accepted it for what it is. All right, we got ourselves about 8 minutes to a minute that candle closes. All right, we can get our recovery here as they try to consolidate here. I'm looking for them to grab the buy side liquidity with the momentum. Let's see if they can do that. There's a stranger danger. They're trying to get through it. Let's see if they sweep the buy side liquidity here.
How do I join? It's a lie.
They're kind of pushing it down, but you got some buying pressure that's happening around here. All right, that's the stranger danger here. So they're kind of coming back into this area like they're pushing it right back up. That was a good extension that they tried to attempt to push it down. Let's see what they do. Like I said, in the next 7 minutes. Let's come back over to the video. As it's starting to show signs that I think they may give that buy up here. $11 burn. Let's give it a try. Concerning that 185 contract on the video. See what happens there. Assuming that this base holds. There will be filling here. And then they'll be filling up to here. And my TP is going to bring me to here. Very tough to do. But you never know. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they don't. That's assuming that NQ, which is one of the ones that's heavy on tech, right? It does not let it go any lower past here, and they use this order block as a place to kind of springboard up. Nice little push up. Again, very, very risky in itself. But let's just say the sellers cannot handle it. Got an order block over here that is bearish at this point. Mark that off. Patience, folks, patience. They want that block. Look at that. They're coming back for the block. I thought we could hold stranger danger. Gonna be tough here for the next 2 minutes. Probably gonna put some weight on that NVIDIA too. Let's see what that NVIDIA looks like. Let's see if that holds. Let's see if it holds. What time will it be? It'll be 10:15. Get a little closer to 10:30 and then get things a little wrapped up. Strange danger is suffering. Yeah, 40 seconds. They ate up a lot of this 15-minute candle. Not a good sign. If we was going to just go ahead and go right through. Just need to build that base and get that liquidity. Let's see if we can snatch sell side liquidity here. $14 seconds. All right, we got a new 15-minute right now. Not a good sign. I don't think those NVIDIA calls are going to do well. It's going to take a little bit of gumption from here. This is what I'm looking at possible shorts here. If they can get back above here at 27, that would be great because that will help my NVIDIA calls. But this thing can burn. They just took out the low. They might come for this whole entire wick. Yeah, that's going to beat up NVIDIA. Come on. Give me a reversal. But that's why we went with something super low. Gather that sell side liquidity. Oh yeah, gather that. Come on. Right to stranger danger. Oh, appreciate y'all. Yeah, gave me a little chunk of change on my future side. Appreciate y'all. Let's see if that translates over to NVIDIA. What I want to see is we don't come back here. This will be our higher low. We recapture this candle. We go through this point, get through here, and then we go tap right here. That should make our NVIDIA look really, really good for more upside. And again, I'm not in there for a long time. I'm in for a good time, so I ain't trying to be in there and get everything all the way back either. Let's see. What am I at? Yeah, it kind of spiked up for a little bit for 36%, but what? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's one thing I don't like about Robinhood. I want a standard market order, not limit order. All right, open up the printers now. Can y'all stop, please? I'm in the middle of a recording. Nah, the life of homeschooling. All right, if y'all have any tickers, I'm still holding on to this in the video out of curiosity and see where this ends. So far, 82%. If you had got in when I said to get in. Neo went to the wrong room. You know. Wrong link.
Came with this.
And now I need this thing to just get up in here. Let's go over in the video and so y'all can see. The video is driven, just like Qs are driven by NVIDIA and vice versa. They pretty much symbiotical. Yes. We'll see if this thing can break out to that 20. Because if it gets close to that 25,000 on NQ, I think that will bring us to that 182 up there. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so yeah, so the way NVIDIA is operating right now, it looks like NVIDIA is trying to operate like it wants to get through the top of the block. It's probably a little risky as far as the trade itself to get to that 183.69. Now that I think about it, because we never got to the bottom of the order block on NVIDIA, but we are testing that fair value gap repeatedly. So, going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, NVIDIA. Don't do that. Damn, I had like one, I had 170, 170%, and I was like, I could get some more, because I think we can touch the top.
See, remember I told you, Jeff, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, okay? Stop being pig.
That's facts. Yeah, but that was a massive amount of profit taken right there, and it happened in a minute. That's what's annoying me. And you see the video just went ahead and spiked through and made another higher high here. You got a 30-minute order block right there. That's probably what's driving this.
Oh, come on, SGOV.
Which one you got?
SGOV.
SGOV?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to pull that up in a little bit. Damn, they sold that thing right when it got to the edge of the fair value gap we was filling to the upside. Don't do that to me. Don't do it to me. Come on, the video. Give me that GPU engine, that real engine. Come on, get up there. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get some more highs. Sweep that liquidity. That 15-minute got a wide mouth on the MACD. All right, one more spike through. Let's get that sweep. The seller should be out of there. Come on, baby. Yeah, I decided to do my compound challenge, but I reset my compound challenge daily. Come on, the video. Get up in that fair value gap. Now we got an order block right here at this point on the 15-minute, but on the 45-minute, it's clear skies. Give me my money. This is an old take profit from the downside, so I know it's going to be tough. So I want to see if we can fly right through it, because that's not a downside move anymore, and we can get right there to that 183, almost 189. Oh, I was supposed to have like 17 million contracts on this. No, I was aiming for 2, just to kind of do this for the show.
Well, hey, listen, you know, a lot of people went to jail doing shit for the show.
I just do it for TV. I do it for TV. Listen, it was $11. It was $11. Oh, there we go. That's it. I'm out of there. I'm taking my money. That was over 250%. Congratulations, folks. I gave y'all 250% on the option contract if you followed suit. I want to say thank y'all very much. I am going to still keep the stream going if I see anything that pops up, especially on my alert system. But I'm going to go back to the Zoom so y'all can hang out. If you want more information on how to participate in the Zoom, DM me, JD_the_great on Instagram. I'll be right back. So we're taking a peek at this whole entire Amazon uh, move. It looks curious, right? Got a divergence that's putting in on the stochastic. Massive drop off here from the 228 just for them to drop it close to 200 psychological level. So we probably could get a nice little push into 211 without any hesitation. It's probably going to take next week to do it. So what you thinking? You thinking Friday? Friday calls? Or are you going to get some more time?
No, I'm probably gonna go end of the month calls, just to kind of like hold steady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like 2 weeks. 2 weeks out. This is a short swing. I'm just looking for that pop, and then I'm gonna see once we get back to the retracement zone, should I exit or not. But also, like, I'll probably exit like around 23%, 38%.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. They said 50 Cent just dropped the pettiest video for the Super Bowl with
Yeah, I
with
seen that.
DoorDash. I'm gonna check that out later.
That was funny.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to take a nice little 30-minute break. So we're probably gonna hit a little intermission, and I'm gonna wait for the 11:30 drops because we're gonna get a new 2 hour on the in 45 minutes. We're gonna get a new 2 hour candle that could probably give us some opportunity. Because you get a 2 hour close inside of here. Let me see. Yeah, you probably could get a nice little extension inside of this area here because we flew right past here. Now, the question is, do we stop at 208 or do we just fly and come up to like 212? Or at best, let me see, this was our drop, this was our take, that was our pop. Yeah, 212. I'm thinking 212 should be good. So, yeah, let's do a nice little intermission. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Kind of saw something with core weave. Looks like we're going to hold this 86 level. If they actually sweep this liquidity, we're probably going to get to TP1. There's going to be very high risk, especially that we're sitting on top of a gap. Probably not the best of trades, but of course, you know, I'm going to try to find the most opportune side of it. So just be patient. We're going to find something. We're going to find ourselves something to trade. Let me fix this picture because this picture is a little too far. Okay.
Daddy is about to end live stream.
So we got our seals. Okay. Come this down, refresh. Let's refresh that one more time. Okay, I guess that's as good as I'm gonna get. Okay, got that, and let's save that. Yeah, that's different. Okay. Let's put that in there. And let's put that in there. Okay. So that's that one. Let's see what else came in through my list. Core weave. No, I don't want to do that. Ionic. Let's see. Let's see if I can find something on this. Oh my God, all these charts look similar. Let's see what this option chain looked like. Go with that. $40. Call. Open interest is not that great. We'll leave that one alone. We'll find out some good stuff. ASTS. Let's see what this looks like. Going right to a block, but that fair value gap looks very interesting. Let me do qubit first. Quantum computing. See, this looks very similar as well. Could they be setting everybody up to think it's gonna be bullish and then push this thing on out? ASTS. Let's go back over that one. I think I like that one better. What are the tickers I have? CMG. Let's see what that looks like. Chipotle. only gonna be a dollar movement, but it is coming off of a block. Yeah. Rigetti. Shout out to those that's been dealing with Rigetti. Ugh. No, I'm not doing that. That's an order block for days right there. Oak low. I can rock with this. Oak low. $80 calls. Yeah. Let's get that on there. Let's go with the 0220 2026. And we're looking for the $80 strike. I'm gonna put that in premium. I'm gonna put that at an 8-hour delay. Actually, 4-hour delay. All right, so that's Oklo. Oh, actually, let me post that. Okay. Got that. All right. That's sent. Clean Spark, Capital One Finance. I don't like that though. Based on a 2 hour? Really? Look at that junk we gotta get through. You could get to the gap. It's very possible, but that's a lot of junk. MP materials in the semi space. Could get this fair value gap with a divergence. Let's see what the options look like. What would be going for? I'm assuming that's this. We got 2 hours, and I need this thing to close above 60.56. And then we'll go for the 65s. There's a fair value gap that could get us to TP2, but that's TP1. That TP2 is gonna be tough. But we'll see. 70 calls. Make it nice and cheap for everybody. Got that in there. That's MP. Path Teft. Oh my God, there's just so many. All right, so this is looking all right. Let's go to the next one. I want to do path. There's just so many. Man, all this came and triggered. This one's a cheapie. with the fact that this is going to try and hold. This low cost should be good to go to 14 to peak. So be patient. All right, let me send that out. Okay, I think I'm gonna do like 2 more. Got like test. Oh, actually, let me send this out. I forgot to send a photo. Let me fix that. Free game. It was free game. Okay, so that's. Oh, did I just do Oklo again? That's not what I meant to do. Path. That's the one. Yeah, I did that. All right. So we got a couple of things. So this path one looks really, really good. Nova Nordis just popped up. Jeez, I can't get this in fast enough. Let the community know. All right. So I gave like 4 different trades inside of there. I ain't gonna lie, I am tired. So I think I kind of covered quite a bit here. If you want to catch a replay of it, of course, it's recorded on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way they can know when I'm online. I'm going to try to do these like once a month where we kind of just run through a whole bunch. I knew that this news was going to go ahead and make the market kind of move. So that's why I kind of did this one. If you want more information, by all means, get the Discord information because I already posted a lot of this stuff through the automated system. And yeah, I appreciate all of y'all. Let me go ahead and tap out. I bid you fun farewell. Have a wonderful day.